Hi guys, welcome. Let me click a few buttons here and get to where I can see what's going on. Okay, hello to everyone. Today is going to be kind of a fun live. We haven't really done one of these before, so hopefully you guys have lots of fun questions for me. I have my little pen and paper here so that as I see things, I can try to jot them down and get to them. If I do miss something, I apologize. I'll try to go back into the comments and respond. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, so we will see. Hi. Hello to everybody that's joining. I can see comments. That's good. I tried to do the live the other day and I could not get it to work. So how is everyone? How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Hi. Okay. So let's get into it, you guys. If you have any questions. So basically how I was hoping this is going to go is it's not going to be like necessarily Feather Bear Bling questions. I'm hoping that it'll be more things that you guys are curious about, maybe things you can apply in your own businesses, questions you might have about how to start things up or what steps to take or how to cover your bases or how we got started. Like there's a lot of different things that we can talk about. I really was hoping that it wasn't going to be like winter certain glitters restocking kind of deal, because that's like information for the group. This is more of a nitty-gritty, let's get to it. All right, so I see quite a few of you have joined and nobody is sending me questions yet. You guys got to give me some questions. We're just going to sit here chit-chatting. What you got for me? Lay it on me. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Tina. Hello, Jessica. I can see all of you guys. Hi, Allison. Allison, I think it was you I was replying to in the group, right? The glitter vendor thing, I hate to be that person, but that's kind of like a no-touch zone because that's really, really like supply specific. And it's way, way different now than it was when we first started. When we first started, it was insanity. Now they're everywhere. I'll just say that. They are everywhere. Okay. So let's see. Stand out. Advice for startup. I'm making a couple quick notes here. That way I can, get over burnout. Good. Was it my dream to sell glitter? Girl, you know. Okay. Don't be sorry at all. Like, I know I said I'm like open and ask me anything, but that's just one of those things that I can't like specifically tell you like how you find one of those, because I mean, like I said, now they're super easy to find. Okay, so let's start with everyone doing similar things. How do you stand out? That is one of those things where when people say find your niche, your niche, your niche, however you want to say that, you really have to take that to heart. So that may not be necessarily in the type of product that you sell, because you're selling in a community of people who sell the same type of product. It's going to be how you present your business, how you interact with your customers. It can be how you package your materials. I can tell you from experience that any consumer purchasing a product gets stupid giddy over little things like great packaging. So you can set yourself apart by your packaging and the way that you interact with your customers and offering excellent customer service to them, because those are the things that they're going to come back for. They have options on the products. You have to make sure that you are offering something that no one else can give, and that is your authentic self. So making sure that like you can do something as simple as having a signature color and having things that are in that signature color so that your customers become familiar with that, and little freebies in the package. It can be something like candy or just a little card that you write up that's specific to them, not just a like generic one that's pre-made, something specific to your customer, so that when they open it, they feel like you genuinely care about them, and that's going to make you stand out. Okay, I'll scroll back, you guys, and grab some. I have a couple written down. I'll scroll back and grab some in just a second. So advice for starting up. Advice on starting up a business, first and foremost, is going to be research until your brain is going to explode on what it is that you're wanting to offer as your business. Make sure that you are the expert if you're going to make a business of it. Make sure that you can troubleshoot any issue that comes up. Make sure that you can answer any question that comes up, and be willing to learn from every single mistake that you're going to make while you're starting a business, because you're going to make them. Let's see here. Once you feel like you have learned everything that you can learn about your product or about what it is that you're going to do as your business, then you need to start with the legal processes. So you want to go and visit your county and find out what you need to do to register your business name, to get a business license, anything that you're going to need in order to protect your business as a whole. Do that first. And definitely research what is best for you as far as like incorporated LLC, sole proprietorship. Like, find out those things ahead of time, because the last thing you want to do is launch a business and do really well and then have to backtrack on that for the legal stuff. It's way easier to just start out of the gate with it, trust me. You want to make sure that you do not go stupid crazy spending all of your money buying all the things that you think you're going to need for a business. Start very small and very modest and work your way up to those additional things. If you spend all of your money trying to like have everything you need all at once for your business, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because now you have too much on your plate. By taking little steps, and each time you take another step, you add something else in. Take another step, add something else in. Then you're going to grow organically, and you're going to be able to manage everything that's going on around you. Being able to manage your business is 100% going to decide whether or not you fail or succeed. Okay, getting over burnout. So this is so relevant, because no matter who you are, no matter what type of business you do, we all get burnout. And this applies to people who aren't even in the crafting world, like people that are carpenters, people that build houses, like everybody gets burned out. Okay. The best way to get over burnout is to flip the switch and do something that doesn't benefit your business. That sounds terrible, but this is what I mean by that. So we all have this pressure to produce, to market, to share, to do everything that we possibly can in order to get our name out there and get our business out there so that we can make a profit. Because if that's not what you're doing with your business, then it's a hobby, it's not a business. That will burn you out. That will burn you out. So you have to do things, and maybe it's a weekly thing. Maybe you schedule time for yourself where you do something that has no expectations of benefiting you whatsoever. This may be you do your nails or give yourself a pedicure, or you craft something that you never share with anybody. Maybe you make a cup that no one ever sees, or maybe you paint a canvas that no one ever sees. You don't do it with the anticipation of sharing it or getting feedback or promoting what it is that you're doing. You just do it for yourself. And it can be a hot mess. Like, you can totally get all of your things out and you can destroy whatever it is that you're creating. It can be something that you throw away when you're done, but doing it without that expectation is going to help you fight the burnout. We get burned out by doing the same thing over and over and over again for the same reasons. If you want to avoid getting burned out, then you have to schedule time to do something other than that thing, whatever it may be. Hey. Okay, so when I see Jeff, it's Terry. I'm making a note. Terry, not Jeff. I got you. Okay. Was selling glitter my dream? Okay, so from as far back as I can remember, I have been a glitter baby. I have been attracted to sparkly things since, my earliest memories. If it sparkled, I was attracted to it. It's how I started making cups to begin with, because I just had to have a cup that had glitter on it. Like, if some of you, it's pretty saturated now to where it's a common thing and we see it all the time. But when I first started doing it, you weren't seeing these cups all over the place. Like, they were not a common thing. So they were like a unicorn, okay? Like, this glitter cup, it's a unicorn. And I was obsessed. What I ran into is, when I started making them, is finding materials that fit my creative aspirations. I could find maybe 5 colors of glitter, and that just wasn't doing it for me. So I started looking into finding more glitter. And of course, this is my dream, because I got to be surrounded by sparkly things all of the time. I get to constantly have new sparkly things coming in, and I get to play with it and touch it and use it in ways that I never dreamed possible. I cannot imagine myself doing anything else other than what I'm doing right now. And I intend to broaden what it is that I'm doing right now so that I can incorporate other things into this business. But being based around the glitter, absolutely my dream come true. Okay. First step when you are running a business is, let me see, what would I consider to be the first step? So first step, as far as like, you haven't told anybody or anything, you're just like, you yourself are bringing this business to life. I would say the first step, again, would be to definitely be the expert on what it is that you're doing. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to I don't mean that you know everything and you're going to ace everything all the time. Just be the expert so that you're not going into it blindly. Make sure that you're covering all your bases legally. And definitely, if you have something, a part of your business that is your business name or a slogan or something that you use frequently, trademark that, because everybody and their brother is trademarking all of these random things right now that have nothing to do with their businesses. And it's going to end up being a situation to where you can't even use something for your business that applies to your business because this person over here trademarked it so no one can use it. So make sure you trademark your stuff if you want to be able to continue using it. That's a really big one as well. The whole trademarking. You can trademark your business name, all of it. So definitely look into that. Let's see. If you're thinking about running a business, if you're pushing to where you're this is really what you want to do, you want to run your own business, then definitely move forward with high morals and be prepared to eat a little dirt sometimes, but also to never compromise those morals. You have to be able to stand in a room full of hateful people and still smile. Like, that's really the only way I can put that nicely. I do not do conventions. I just don't have a lot of time for that. But I would love to go to one that somebody else is planning. That might be a thing. But I definitely wouldn't be able to plan one myself. Just, no, thank you. Whoops, hold on, I just hit a comment on accident. Donna, the major product that took my business to the next level. Okay, this is an interesting question because for me, I honestly feel like it wasn't the products. For me, I feel like it was, at that time, it was the people who followed me for guidance, for tutorials, for information. It was their trust in me as a person on what I was telling them was worthy of their time. We started off, the few colors that we started off with, they were colors we still carry. Sea glass, Karma, Seafoam, Magnolia, like I can list them, but there is a handful of ones and we still carry them to this day. I truly believe that when I handpicked these colors and the quality of these colors, I was confidently able to say, these are beautiful and they're going to do what you need them to do. And they're going to look amazing and they're going to make your projects look good. And I meant it. And it was accurate information. That's what took our business to the next level. I wasn't faking any part of it. So it's always been authentic. If I offer a product, it's because I believe in the product or I like the product. I use the product. I never do any of that like sight unseen just to get things out there. Everything I do is with the utmost integrity. And I think that honestly what has taken our business to that next level. Elaborate on a signature color. So our colors, business-wise, have always been like a coral and a teal. Our mailers that we're out of them right now, but our mailers that we had for a long time had the coral and teal feathers on them. So let's just, as an example there. So when you guys were getting those orders that had the feather mailers, you didn't even have to see the label to know who it was from. You knew those mailers were from Feather Bear Bling. So it can be something like that. As long as you're consistent with it, it becomes familiar to your customers. So like if your favorite color is purple, then you make sure that you include purple things every time someone orders from you. And it can be anything purple. It can be the tissue paper you wrap it in can be purple. The pens you write with can be purple. But just use something that becomes familiar to your customers so that it kind of creates that like special relationship between you and them to where they get that excitement when they see it because it's something that is familiar from your business. Let's see here. Okay, so moved with military. Any advice for starting over in a new area when others are established, but you are not a newbie to the crafts? Okay, so if you move to a new area where there are other people who are doing what you do, but you're not brand new. You already were established where you were before, but now you're somewhere new. So you're going to be the new girl. There's no getting around that. You're going to be the new girl. So you're going to have to kind of go above and beyond in that situation to make sure that all of your other ducks are in a row. So you want to make sure that your advertising isn't like trampling over what someone else is doing. So if you notice that the people in your area, let's just say Jane, for instance, you see Jane, and Jane does a lot of things with cats. Personally, what I would say is try not to do things with cats, but do everything else, if that makes sense. So if you go in and you're trying to do the same exact things that she's doing because of the area, that's going to make it more difficult for you. And Jane cannot supply to everyone in her area. So by having great customer service, by connecting with people, doing networking events, giveaways, donating things to local auctions with your business card, things that can kind of set you in as part of the community, they will come to you. Craft shows and things like that, make sure that you just have a variety of items. Make sure that you show your range if you're going to do vendor events, or if you're going to, oh man, that really is a difficult one. But I would definitely, my recommendation, especially military, I know the groupings with the military, I know how you guys are a very close-knit community, is try to do other than what everyone else is doing. If they're doing blue, you do green, that kind of thing. Because you can do the same thing in that community as long as you guys all offer something that's a little bit different. Okay, I'm scrolling 1 second. Okay, so what if you have taken those steps and bought all the stuff that you thought you needed, and you have all this stuff? Is there a chance that someone could succeed? 100%. 100% there's a chance that you can succeed. I'm that person. So I am the person that if I decide, oh, how did I do that? 1 second. I don't know how I did that. Let's do that. I figured it out. Okay, sorry, that was kind of cool. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm answering right now. So absolutely, as I was saying, I'm that person. If I'm interested in something or I want to figure out how to do something, then I absolutely want to buy all the things associated with that thing. So you have to prioritize whatever it is that you're doing so that you're not wasting your money and digging yourself into a hole that you can't get out of. So if you decide that you're going to do something, let's say you're going to do coasters, and you buy all the things to do these geode coasters that are really popular, you have it all, you got to do it. That's the thing, you have to do it. So if you buy everything to make geode coasters, make the geode coasters. Do it. Don't get it and set it in a drawer and say you'll get to it another time when you have time, because you had the time when you ordered the stuff to do it. Your brain was telling you, we're going to do this. So just do it. And if you have an assortment of a bunch of different things and you don't know where to start, then start on the left side of the room and pick one thing and do one thing every day until you've worked your way through all of those things. Repeat that process. Do it again. Because if you buy it and you shove it in a drawer and you're not using it, then it is not benefiting your business. If you make it a point to where you have this commitment to where you have to use these things, that is going to benefit your business. And then you have a huge assortment of things that you can list that are ready to sell for your customers, and they love that. Last minute gifts, Mother's Day, Father's Day, like, do it. Do that. Okay, and I'm going to go back here because I accidentally missed this one, but I'm going to show that one again. So what epoxy do you use? Right now I use Counterculture DIY. I love all of their products. Previous to that, I did use Alumilite for a long time. I have no hate for Alumilite. Like I didn't switch because I'm like, I need to get rid of this epoxy. I just had ran out and an opportunity arose for me to try Counterculture, and I loved them so much that I just continued using them. I think that they have a really strong business model. They are good to their customers, and I really appreciate all of that aside from the fact that I love their products. Hello, hello. Okay. Mark, be an adult. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoyed the Geo Tumblr. Jill, you were a part of the first buy-in. Wow. So you remember how chaotic that was. And all of the things that we did from the very beginning, from that very first buy-in, every single time we did any type of thing after that, whether it was the next buy-in or ordering larger quantities to have stock on hand, we learned something so valuable every single time. We learned what didn't work. We learned what did work. And we would make necessary changes. Like there was a lot of times where we would hit roadblocks that we weren't sure how we were going to get out of these messes that were like being created by all of this chaos. But we would just take what we were learning from each of those situations and change those things instead of changing the whole situation, change just those little things in order to make them work for us or in order to work more efficiently. So the biggest thing you can learn from jumping into something and doing it is the failures. So anytime you fail at something, that is your lesson. You're not going to learn from the successes. You're going to learn from the failures. So definitely do not be afraid of failure. Let's see here. Just give up? Never. Never. Okay, so Donna, how do you pick a good vendor for your business? Okay, this is a good one too. There are 500 billion different vendors out there, depending on your needs and what it is that you desire for your business. You're going to have to dig your heels in and really pay attention to the vendors. So if you're using US-based vendors, the best thing you can do is find them on all of their social media and follow them. Follow them for a while, for as long as you can, before you invest your money into their company. See how they interact with people, see how they respond to negativity, see, what type of stuff they put out there, vibe, all of that. Order samples. Any type of vendor or like manufacturer of things provides samples. Sometimes you have to pay shipping for it, not a big deal. There may be fees associated, not a big deal. It's an investment. So order your samples, test the quality of the products. Let me see here. Let me fix that. There we go. Order samples, test the products, have conversations with a contact person that will be your contact person that you can go to so that you can establish relationships with these companies as well. Your business doesn't work without them. Their business doesn't work without you. So you have to make sure that you're comfortable with them and what they represent. Let me see here. Hi, Mickey. It seriously baffles me that grown adults will get on YouTube just to spam videos with nonsense. Some people obviously need hobbies. We can help with that. I can hook you up with the hobby. Anyways. All right, so yeah, we're talking about the vendors. I guess that's really the gist of it, is researching it and following them and being aware of how they represent their business, ordering samples if you can't follow them and all of that, ordering samples from them, seeing their turnaround time, seeing how they ship things, how they communicate, you're tracking all of these things that could pose an issue for you in the future. Have all of that dialed in and keep notes. Be like, oh, I ordered from this company May 2nd. and they ghosted me. Like keep notes. So if you circle back and you're going to think about using that person again, you'll have notes to reference to know how your first experience was with them. I didn't do that, and it got very muddy. Using a translator. Okay, we'll go with that. All right. Hi, Mickey. I think I said that already, but I see your hello there. Anything else that you guys want to know? I'm learning all kinds of new things about this software setup here. I love it. Oops. Okay. Did I miss anything? One second. I'm just scrolling to make sure I didn't miss social media. Okay. Marketing and social media tips. You guys, I'm going to have to be totally transparent with you here. Like the marketing and the social media is, I'm not very good at it. So I know that it's a little easier for me because I don't have any issues or discomfort with being on camera. Totally okay with that. What I struggle with is consistency. So being that I struggle with that and that I'm fully aware that it's an issue for me, that's going to be my advice is you have to figure out a way that works for you to be consistent and reliable in your posting. So if your customer base knows for certain that, I guess this is a good example, you guys know that we are closed on Fridays and that we open back up on Saturday at 10 a.m. We've kind of gradually grown into that. For a while, we were only open on Saturday. I'm so glad that that's not a thing anymore. But if you're able to have a certain day where you post new things that you're putting out, if you have a certain day that you post any sales or coupon codes, things like that, the consistency and clear, well thought out posts. So I'm a very fly by the seat of my pants kind of person, and that is not always beneficial. But I recognize what's the issues with that. I definitely recognize it. And there are a lot of things that I would like to do differently, but they're hard for me to apply. So I understand how they could be hard for you to apply as well. But you have to plan ahead. You can even do like the scheduled posts, that thing, you know, where it's scheduled to automatically send things out for you ahead of time. Because the more you pop up and the more your customers see you and the more they get familiar with you and are comfortable with you, that's when they're going to buy in. That's when they're going to come in and say, hey, okay, I'm going to check out what you're doing over here because now I see you all the time and I'm intrigued. And it doesn't have to be like sales types posts. Do personal things, do interaction type things, but make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, you're consistent and you do something at least once a day. At least once a day. You can look in your individual Facebook groups and things like that, and you can see when your peak hours are of when the people that are in your groups are most active. That's when you post. And it's going to be different for everyone because of different times all over the place and because of your particular audience. But pay attention to those analytics that Facebook gives you for free because they're priceless. And Canva. There you can get it as an app like on a tablet, but I also use it on my computer. Huge tool when it comes to social media marketing because it has preset template designs for every type of social media out there. If Instagram is your thing, Facebook, I mean, seriously, so many different things, and you literally just plug the stuff into it and it already has it pre-sized to what it needs to be. If you haven't already gotten Canva, then run quickly and get it. And I'm not affiliated with them, so I don't have any codes for you, but I do highly recommend Canva, definitely. It can be so easy. It saves all your stuff in there. You can do your business colors. You can like plug them in there so you always have them at the ready. Your logos, everything can go right in there and it saves it. So when you're creating things, it's just like boop, 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 done. Graphics, if you need to announce something, if you just need a pretty picture to put on a post, like so many things. You guys, I swear, if you go and check out Canva and you haven't before, you're going to be doing that for the rest of the day, I promise. And there are a handful of really, really good people on YouTube who do tutorials on how to use Canva for your business. All of that, do all of that. Let's see here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, glitter names. Curious how we come up with our glitter names. Sometimes I have things pre-planned. Sometimes I'm like, okay, but I have this set of names and I'm getting these glitters to fulfill these names. A lot of times with like the series, I know those ahead of time. As far as anything that's not really in a collection, it's inspiration when I see it. So it's literally, I will look at the color, I'll sit with the color, I'll use the color, and it usually just comes to me what that name should be. Sometimes I'll hear someone in passing say something. Sometimes I'll be looking online or reading a book and I'll hear something that inspires me. A lot of times I'm inspired by musical lyrics and movie quotes, things like that. So really there's no like rhyme or reason to mine. I don't have any like set specific thing. It's just whatever inspiration hits at that moment when I'm looking at those colors. And it's hard, man. Sometimes I look at that glitter and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to name this right now. So it's definitely hard. Sometimes I have to give it a couple days before I can settle on a permanent name. Jesse's late. Okay, will you be getting back to tutorials? I have been getting back to tutorials. So the last month I was able to put out a calendar so that you guys could see every Wednesday at 3 p.m. we were doing a live tutorial. I was able to tell you ahead of time what that tutorial was going to be. This month is like totally off kilter because I traveled. I went out of state. It's a little discombobulated, but we plan on getting back to that starting next month. So you guys can have the preset. I will also do pop-up lives in the Facebook group. Sometimes it may be just like right now. I'm dyeing solo wood flowers and I will probably go live in the Facebook group and show you guys how I'm going to put glitter on those suckers because yeah, it applies. Yes, we are actively working on not only more tutorials, but some other fun stuff that I strongly suggest you guys stay tuned for because we have some good stuff coming down. Okay. Okay. Glitter shelves. So these are the, I believe they're called the Moss Landa picture hanging shelves from IKEA. And the ones that I have are 4 feet long. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of them across. And at the end, I have one that's 2 feet. You can't see what I'm pointing at. So right here, I have one that's 2 feet because I didn't have enough room to put another 4 foot. But yeah. So they're really, there's a whole bunch of shelves up there. They're just pieced together. But they're the picture hanging shelves from IKEA. Moss Landa, I believe. I have a little bit of trouble pronouncing IKEA names. All right. So I don't see any more questions. We are going on 40 minutes now. Hopefully I was able to give you guys some insight and information. If you guys think of more questions, we definitely can do this again. If you can also comment your question and I can come back to it at a later time because I love doing that. Otherwise, I think we are gonna call this finished. Thanks for joining, guys. Hopefully this wasn't too, I'm sorry, I'm reading another comment. Thanks, Allison. Hopefully it wasn't too like off base from what you guys were expecting from me, but I really wanted to sit down and do this with you. So thank you so much for joining, and make sure that if you haven't already, you subscribe to the YouTube, because that's where some really cool stuff is going to be dropping that I'm really excited about, and I don't want you guys to miss it. Have a good day, guys.